Greetings and welcome to Heart to Heart with Doc Martin, where I share with you some of my thoughts and challenge you to think differently. Today, I want to talk to you about listening, because not all listening is created equal. And if you think about how we interact with the world, particularly as it relates to social media, there isn't necessarily a heck of a lot of listening going on, is there? We see something and we just kind of spew, and then we get in these flame wars, and we're not even there to have the ability to listen to the other party because we're not even talking to them. We're just going back and forth over social media. Kind of drives me a little crazy. You know, it's become pretty commonplace in our society today that, don't talk to me on the phone. I don't like talking on the phone. It's like, well, why? It creates such a more difficult way to communicate because both parties aren't able to be heard because the written text doesn't have inflection, body language, or intent in it at all. And so when you think about listening, as I was taught at IPEC, the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching, they talked about three different types of listening. There's subjective listening, objective listening, and intuitive listening. And so subjective listening is all about you seeing things through your own frame of reference. And so it's kind of like, if somebody told you a story about going to the Grand Canyon, you immediately would pipe up with a story about your experience of the Grand Canyon. So you're seeing it through your own filter rather than trying to hear the other party and respond appropriately. Objective makes it all about the other person. It's a bit better than subjective, but it doesn't really get to the heart of the matter. And so if somebody was talking about going to the Grand Canyon, and they were talking about how it was on their bucket list to kind of climb down and climb back up in one day, which is a thing, believe it or not, you might turn to them and say, oh, that was awesome that you really wanted to do that. Congratulations. And so you didn't talk about your trip, which would be subjective, but you made it all about them, where you were just like, you were supportive, where you said congratulations, but that's kind of where it landed. Or where it ended, I guess you could say. And then the third type of listening is what's called intuitive listening. That's, as I like to jokingly say, the Mac Daddy of listening. It's kind of listening between the lines, listening for what wasn't said, but what was really meant. So if somebody was talking to you about going to the Grand Canyon and it was on their bucket list and, they went down and up the same day, you might respond with, oh my gosh, it sounds like you really hit on that bucket list item. You must have been really, really excited to go there and maybe even a little nervous to be able to go up and down the canyon in one day. Yeah, you really get me. Why? Because you were kind of listening between the lines to see what they were really saying, and that it was a bucket list item for them. It was difficult to do, and they really felt a sense of accomplishment for doing so. So feel free to reach out if you'd like to learn more about listening. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe and click notifications if you don't want to miss out on any of our Heart to Hearts interviews or book reviews. And remember, life speaks to you. And if you think it doesn't, you're not listening. Take care. Bye-bye.